Hi, good morning. I hope you're doing well today, right? So, today we are going to do a really interesting session on public speaking fast track, which will help you build the right mindset required to master your public speaking. Because public speaking is not only about going on stage and just talking about your topic and coming back, it has a lot to do with your energy that you bring to the room. Are you your authentic self? Do you feel really anxious during your presentations? How to get rid of that? It has a lot of elements. And I'm really excited to discuss all of these things in a lot of detail and most importantly, with a lot of actionable steps. Because just the knowledge is completely useless, right? You need to have that action with you. So let's dive right in. So, the first thing we'll understand is the mindset. So, the mindset required to become a good public speaker, I think the best way to explain that is with one of my students. So, when she had started her journey with public speaking and she had taken my course, what happened was she was feeling very nervous. She felt like everyone was judging her, she just couldn't speak up for herself, and she was just a yes person. She did not know how to say the word no. And it's very important to understand and draw boundaries with people. So essentially, what happened was after the sessions, she did improve a lot. But let's discuss what was lacking. So the first time I met her, I told her a very important thing, which is that instead of chasing confidence, we will start to become more comfortable with our voice, with the way we talk, with the way we project our ideas, because that is much more important. Because think about it this way, right? When you're talking to your friends, do you feel anxious? No, right? It's because you're comfortable. Not necessarily that confidence is there. Confidence is a byproduct of comfort rather than the other way around. So, why do you feel that lack of confidence and why do you feel uncomfortable? It's because you're unfamiliar with the situation. Now, if I told you that, hey, can you go and speak in front of 200-300 people in the next 5 minutes? You just would freak out and probably run away from there, right? Because you have no idea how to do that because you've never done that before. So we have to build on it. We have to understand how we can train our mind to get used to such situations. But a lot of people tell me that, oh, Sumit, but I don't have any control over my emotions, right? If I feel anxious, if I feel nauseous, if I feel like I can't do this, how do I control that? Well, I will tell you the tricks and actionable advice you can use to start regulating your emotions and to start controlling it. Because once you control your emotions, you start to feel comfortable. And oh my God, once you start feeling comfortable, the magic starts to happen. So let's first further break down confidence. So this is me, by the way, and it's on my first trek, which was like a 14-kilometer long trek. And the first 7 kilometers, I climbed to the top, made it. I'm super happy. But what you don't know is what happened after this. After this, I got horrible cramps on both my thighs, and the 7-kilometer descent was a horrible experience. And the reality of confidence is that you can only build it with interesting life experiences. So go for those treks, go for those adventurous situations. Because if you just sit at home and say that, oh, why am I not confident? You'll never be. So traveling really helps build your confidence. So let's also understand another element of confidence, which is your past experiences. Now I'll tell you a very interesting example. So last Christmas, I was pitching to this company and the CEO's net worth was over 100 CR. And that was the first time I was so anxious. I just didn't know what to do. So I calmed myself down and took my mind to the first ever pitch I did, which was at 18. And then I realized that I got this. And after that presentation was done, which went really well, by the way, after it was done, now that also became a part of my past experiences. So the next time I have to pitch to someone who is even a millionaire or a billionaire, it wouldn't be a problem because I have done it before. So you have to create those strong past experiences. Now the obvious question arises, Sumit, what if I don't have any past experiences? Then what do I do? So I'll tell you what to do. So if you don't have past experiences, that's completely okay. But you definitely have role models, right? So all I want you to do for the next 24 hours, I want you to behave like your role model. I want you to embody them, what they would do, what they would say in certain situations, how they would behave. Just for one day, embody your role model. And then that becomes your past experience. And when you look back and realize that, oh, I want to feel confident right now, you can think about the time you did this. And that will help you really build that confidence in the moment. We'll definitely get into confidence building exercises, which are small baby steps you can start taking from today to improve on your confidence. But first, we have to dive a little into imposter syndrome. Now, when I started my journey as a public speaker, a lot of people told me, hey, fake it till you make it, right? But when I started to do that, I got this imposter syndrome. I was always wondering, oh, am I really confident or am I just acting? Am I just playing a person who I'm not? Am I lying to people? And that's a horrible feeling. So faking it till you make it is not a very long-term solution. Now, if you are going on a diet and you want to lose weight, for example, so you cut out sugar, you cut out fats, you cut out everything, and you somehow stick to it for 3 weeks, you would lose the weight. But after you lose the weight, you would put it right back on. It's because it's not long term. So instead of that, when you eat healthier, make better choices, that's what helps, right? Same with building confidence. Instead of trying to fake it till you make it, you could probably fake it for the first month, first 2 months, and then try to reflect on those situations, because that becomes your past experiences. And then a lot of people start telling you as well that, oh, you're such a confident person, you can do this. And your environment really dictates how you behave. So if you're feeling very anxious, very nervous, it's okay. That is something we will fix today. We'll completely get rid of it. Okay, so let's dive into the next slide, which is power poses. So the first thing you will observe with confident people is the space they occupy. So right now you can see that he's occupying a lot of space, right? But that doesn't mean that you completely spread yourself and just make a fool out of yourself. No, I have seen a lot of socially awkward or socially anxious people sit like this with their hands folded and maybe their legs are also really close. Just take little space, breathe, allow yourself a little bit space. Nobody is going to eat you up. Fine, sit comfortably at least. Don't sit super stiff like this. Sit comfortably. And another thing you can do before your presentations is just 2-3 minutes or 5 minutes before, I want you to go to the washroom, look at a mirror, and then just put your hands on your waist like she is putting. This is called a Wonder Woman pose. And after that, I want you to breathe in 4 counts, hold your breath for 7 seconds, and then exhale for 8 counts. Now, I want you to do this for 2 minutes straight. So this is the magic of power poses. A lot of research has been done. And what this does is it takes your cortisol, which is your stress hormone, and reduces it by 20%. And it takes your testosterone and increases it by 20%. So for all the women watching here, even you have testosterone. And this will help you a lot. It will help you regulate your emotions and feel calmer. Now, let's get into the exercises to really build that confidence, to really build that mindset. So I want to introduce you to my friend Kalpika here. So it's very interesting how we met, okay? So I was traveling, I think it was December or January, and I was traveling from Bhubaneswar to Bangalore. And I was just waiting in the airport. Our flight had been delayed by 2-3 hours. And she was sitting, I think, 2 benches across. And I noticed that she was reading this manga. So I just asked her, hey, what is this manga that you're reading? And that sparked a conversation. And our friendship, it became and it evolved. And like we still talk on Instagram. And yeah, that's how you connect with people. So it might seem strange at first that talking to random people in an airport or at a railway station. So you don't have to just start with a full on conversation. Now, I have a lot of experience with rapport building, so I can do this, but you can take baby steps. You can ask people what's the time, or maybe is the flight delayed, or is this the right place where I am, something like that. So, just those simple questions and asking them more frequently will help you build that confidence. Because the thing is that confidence is also very situational. Now, if I tell you that you're in a crowded place and I tell you to scream at the top of your lungs, will you do it? Never, right? But if a dog bit you on your leg, you would scream so loud that everyone would hear you. So it's all about the situation. So confidence is something you already internally have. You just have to discover it. And once you discover it, so many doors for you will finally be open. Right now they're shut because you are shut. You're very restrictive with the way you speak, with the way you actually build rapport, with the way you understand people. It's very restrictive right now. Once you open that door, slowly, you don't have to completely open it all at once. Once you open it slowly, you will see the magic happen. Then the second exercise is just talking to a camera. Now, initially, when I started talking to a camera, it was super awkward, right? Because nobody is listening and you just keep blabbering. You look like a crazy person. But that's okay. You do not have to post it anywhere. Just for 5 minutes a day, just talk to the camera. And I promise you that in around 2 to 3 months, you will start to see a brand new version of you. This will happen, but you have to take action now. And the last thing is you have to turn off judgment. Now, the reality about judgment is that everybody judges you, no matter who you are. Whether you're married, people will judge you. Whether you're single, people will judge you. Whether you have a job, whether you do a business, any choice you make in life, people will judge you. But there are other truths to life as well. One truth is that everybody is going to die. And the second truth is that if you don't get over this judgment right now, you will never know who you truly are. Because people's judgment is bombarding you right now and you just feel like you're in a cage. But the good thing is you can get out of the cage. Just try to turn off that judgment. It'll slowly happen, but it'll surely happen. Now let's really dive into dressing with confidence. Now, if I were to go for a presentation, which one of these outfits would I choose? Would it be this, which is completely casual, this kind of semi-formal, or this, which is fully formal? So a lot of people will say, oh, Sumit, I think you should wear a suit and that would really help you with your confidence. But when you're presenting, it's also about the audience. And you don't want the audience to feel uncomfortable, right? So if you want to be open, if you want to ask them questions, so if I was to ask someone a question in a suit, they would feel much more intimidated. But if I were to ask someone a question in, say, semi-formals, then they would probably open up. So try to have a conversation with your audience. Presentations isn't all about just the speaker speaking. It's a two-way thing. It's like you addressing a group of friends. Fine? So this would be the most optimal outfit where it's not entirely casual, but it's also not fully formal that people feel intimidated to really approach you. Fine? So that's all about dressing with confidence. And one more small tip is that dark colors work really well while presenting because it gives you that authority. So you can try wearing darker colors while presenting, like navy blue, black, maroon. Okay. Now, I will tell you the right things to do that will really help you with feeling much more comfortable with your presentations. Okay? So things to do right before your presentations. So first thing is the 6-second rule. Now, what is the 6-second rule? Before any presentation, I like to close my eyes and just visualize my idol, and I try to embody their personality. Now, I really like how Shah Rukh Khan presents himself, how he is very confident no matter whatever situation life calls for. So I embody Shah Rukh Khan's personality in those 6 seconds. And I think of myself as someone like him. And that 6 seconds really helps me visualize and get into that mental state of presenting without fear. The second thing I love to do before presentations is mingle, talk to 2, 3 people, ask them their problems, understand how you can solve them. So, just having a few familiar faces in the audience can really help you out. Because if nobody is familiar there, it can be intimidating. But if you already know a few people, then it's easy, right? So, try doing that. And one thing, definitely, if you can, I strongly suggest is arrive 2 hours before your presentation. And if you can, just walk on stage, stand on the stage, just get the feel of the stage. Because often what happens is we put the stage on a pedestal, right? We think that it's this big, grand thing, and we can never actually stand on it because it feels intimidating. But when you walk around stage, when you stand on it for a while, you realize that it is just a wooden surface. It's an elevated wooden surface. That's it. That's all there is to it. So once you normalize the stage, then things get easier. But if you think of it as this grand thing, then you feel much more anxious and your emotions start to take over. Now I will tell you a nice system to really perfect your presentations. So the first thing you have to do whenever you're practicing for any presentation is record. Record your presentations. Record yourself practicing. And then you will review it. So while reviewing, first you will just turn off the sound, look at your body language, look at your expressions, look at all of those elements. Then you will turn on the volume and put the phone, say, on the table. And without looking at your expressions, just focus on the voice. And once you feel the voice is projecting, once you feel you're taking pauses, then you will move on to observing if you're using fillers. If you're using fillers like or something like that. So to remove those fillers, you have to start implementing pauses. And then comes the most fun part. After you make those observations, then you have to plan what to do next so that these mistakes don't occur. So suppose your body language this time was poor. So think of where you can change it. Maybe your hand gestures are too fast. Maybe it's like this and people are getting intimidated. People are getting anxious looking at that. So slow down the movements, right? Maybe you're speaking too fast, just like this. It feels like I'm rapping. So just slow down that speech. So that's where the planning comes. And then again, the next time you present, record, review, plan. And that will work out really well. Now, we will understand the audience because we don't want people to fall asleep in our presentations, right? If that happens, it's the most embarrassing thing. So we'll first start by asking 3 questions, which is, who are they? Who are your audience? Are they old? Are they young? Are they rich? Are they middle class? Who are they? Do they speak English? What language do they prefer? What are their hobbies? Understand them as much as you can. Fine? So ask these questions. Then the second question is, what do they know? Now, a lot of times I see presentations that are incredibly frustrating where people always tell me information that I already know. And that is the worst thing. Never give the audience information they are already aware of. Always try to give them new information because new information sparks curiosity, and that is very important. During your presentations, curiosity building will really help you in the long term. Fine? And the third thing, which is the most important, is what do they care about? Now, a good example for that is, imagine you are really good at cricket and I start explaining you about the rules of cricket. Then of course you will zone out, of course you will get bored. But if I tell you how you can improve your game or how you could qualify for the national team, that suddenly becomes something you care about. That is suddenly something you are interested in. And a lot of people get this wrong. They usually spend a lot of time on things that are not important. Suppose if my topic was artificial intelligence, instead of starting my presentation by saying, "What is artificial intelligence?" I would probably start my presentation by saying, "Here are the top three artificial intelligence that can help you. And I will break them down today so that you can start using them right away." That is suddenly much more interesting, right? So it's all about grabbing attention and playing with curiosity. So understand your audience. And finally, to wrap it all up, I want you to perform these 3 action steps. So the first thing is I want you to record 3 videos and just look at them. It may not come right away, but just start by recording 3 videos, say in the next week or in the next 2 weeks. And after that, I want you to notice your voice. Because once you notice your voice, are you too loud like this? Or are you maybe too feeble? Maybe you're speaking like this and everyone is falling asleep. So you have to understand what volume you're speaking at, what pace you're speaking at. Start observing things like that. And the third task for you is to have a conversation with a stranger. Now, a lot of people say stranger danger, but if you want to build your confidence, if you want to build your mindset and become a better public speaker, you have to start speaking to strangers. You have to do things that aren't that comfortable. Like, I had to recently invite few people to join me on my podcast, and that didn't feel as comfortable to me because I'm not really great with podcasts and I've never done those before. But I did it anyway because this will again build my past experience. So focus on comfort, focus on building those past experiences, and I promise you, in the next 6 months, you will be a completely different person. So if you're still curious and you want to build your public speaking skills, then definitely you can book a call with me and we can get on that consultation call and understand how I can help you. Because I believe that you were destined to be a great speaker. So the only thing that is stopping you is yourself. And we'll understand how to break those barriers and make you a great speaker. So I hope this video was helpful. And if you're new to the channel, you can definitely subscribe. And I will see you in another video. Thank you for your time.